Hey everybody, this is Heather McIntosh with MJCCLD, and this week we're going to be talking to you about resumes and different things related to resumes. And in today's video, I'm specifically going to be talking to you about the 3 biggest myths related to resumes that I've encountered and seen during my time here at the MJCCLD. So, myth number 1 relates to length. The longer the resume, the more impressive. That is a myth. That is not true, but I've seen that quite a lot. Students think that if they have 3, 4, 5 pages worth, that's going to be even more impressive and make them stand out even more. But that is not the case. You want to keep your resume to 1 page, 2 pages at most if you do have enough relevant experience and skills and information to make 2 full pages worth, then that's fine. But you typically want to keep your resume to about 1 page. And so another big reason why you don't want to have a really long resume, employers only take about 20 to 30 seconds to look at a resume. That's true. I know that doesn't sound like very long, but I promise you it's true. They're skimming it to see if they want to bring you in for an interview. So what they're going to do is they're going to take your resume, they're going to do a quick look over, they're going to look at your education, what degree are you getting, what kind of past experience do you have, what kind of technical skills do you have. But again, they're just going to be looking it over to decide if they want to interview. They're not going to necessarily be reading it word for word. So keep that in mind. And also one thing I also see a lot is lots of bullet points on one job. I've seen some where it's 20 bullet points for one job. You want to try and keep the list of job duties and tasks to about 2 to 6 bullet points. You usually don't want to go much past 6 bullet points per job because again, they're just trying to get a quick idea of what you did there. They're not trying to read a page worth related to one position. So again, the longer the resume, not the more impressive the resume. So that's myth number 1. Myth number 2 relates to references, and references being needed on resumes, or if you're not going to list the actual references, to have that line, references available upon request. But that is a myth that either of those are needed on a resume. Neither of those are needed. And let me explain why. What I like to tell students is references and doing reference checks, that's step 3, and submitting a resume is step 1. But let me explain that a little further. So when you submit a resume to an employer or recruiter, they're going to be doing that 20 to 30 second scan to see if they want to pull you in for an interview, and then they're actually going to interview you, and then you might only have 1, but you might have 2 or 3 or 4. You might have to meet with different groups of people, so you might wind up having a set of interviews. So then after you get through all those interviews and they actually, get together and meet and go down the list and decide that they want to select you for the position, then they're going to call your references and do a reference check. So why are references not needed on a resume? They're not going to look at them. Because again, that's step 3. They're just trying to figure out if they want to sit down and have an interview with you. So they're not going to be looking at your references, and it's a waste of space. Because think about how much listing 3 or 4 references takes up a page when you're trying to maybe keep your resume to 1 page. That could potentially take up almost a 1/4 or even a 1/3 of your 1 page. So it's a waste of space, it's not needed, and also that line, references available upon request, is also not needed because honestly, they're going to assume if they ask you for your references that you'll give it to them. Otherwise, that'd be kind of odd. So again, it's kind of a given, so that line is not needed. So that's myth number 2. So myth number 3, paid experience is the only type of experience that you should list on a resume. That is a myth. I get this question quite a lot from students. Can I put this volunteer experience on this resume? Should I put this volunteer experience on the resume because it wasn't paid? Yes, you should. You absolutely should, especially if you haven't had much paid experience. There's tons of relevant and worthy experience that should be listed on a resume, even if it was unpaid. Think about leadership experience that you gain if you were a member of a student organization or club, or even if you held a higher role in a student organization and club. That's leadership experience, and that's definitely experience that should be on a resume. So think about that stuff. Think about volunteer work that you've done either at school or around the community. That's good experience too. Internships, whether they're unpaid, should definitely be listed on a resume. But really the bottom line is there's all types of experience that is unpaid that you still gain a lot of transferable skills from. So that should definitely be listed on a resume. So that's the 3rd myth. And again, just to go over them again, myth number 1, the longer the resume, the more impressive. Not true. Number 2, references are needed on a resume. Not true. 3, paid experience is the main only experience to list on a resume. Not true. So those are my 3 myths related to resumes. And again, this is Heather McIntosh from the MJCCLD, and we'll have more videos coming to you soon.